Alright, Esper Amulet. The other Nexus decks we've played this season have felt a little bit medium. This is a Nexus deck that I liked a lot at the end of last season. Felt moderately reasonable. Hey, Silly G's, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. And most importantly, this deck gained Hallowed Fountain. I've also got a Godless Shrine in here to up our black source count. So we also gained Shimmer of Possibility, which is pretty good in a combo deck like this. Look at the top 4 and grab 1. So let's dive into some games and see how it goes. Yeah, if Wizards of the Coast cared about Modern, they'd ban Faithless Looting and Ancient Stirrings. At a minimum. They'd unban stuff too, but they'd get rid of those cards at a minimum. We're back to reporting for our Oglandia duties. C Unit, thank you for the 13 months. Welcome back. Welcome to a live one, Dread. We're gonna be here all day. Awkward. I think this is a keep. Obviously, I'd like an untapped land for 2, but most of your hands that have lands and spells are keeping this deck. We've got a Ritual of Rejuvenation to bridge us into a sweeper against an aggressive or mid-range deck. It's gonna be fun. You have a strange definition of fun. That's pretty aggressive, opponent. I'm gonna do this into this. Happy no changes, Dave Beetle. Well, at least they didn't play Judith here. Horn and Red Rage. Standard again tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going back to my Magic Online into Standard stream schedule. Perfect. So let's put this into play tapped, and then I've got 3 chances to hit an untapped land next turn. We'll go Ritual plus a look with Azcanta plus a draw step. So tomorrow morning, I've got actually 2 modern decks that have some cards from the new set in it. And then, let's do this now so we don't die to a lightning strike. That's not what we're looking for. No respect for Settle. Wow, that's terrifying. Their curve's been really impressive this game. Survey says, heyo, alright, they've got 3 cards. Let's go. What deck would you play if you want to beat red deck and not care about anything else? Probably something with 4 Wild Growth Walkers. Things that are lethal for 100. So I'm actually going to keep this Plains on top of my deck, because leaving Plains on top means I can Shimmer into a Settle the Wreckage. That's unfortunate. Oh, you're right. I didn't have Settle up. You're super right. Need to Revitalize now. Yeah, I had a tap plan. Alright, well, you know. A congresswoman called into a Twitch stream. That's funny. So, extra Settle comes in against aggro. Usually just trim like a Radical Idea. Was it AOC? That doesn't surprise me if it was AOC. She probably knows what a Twitch stream is. Many Congress people probably don't know what Twitch streams are. They're definitely older. The problem with... So I think that Rick's Reveler is a good card. The problem is that, and this is weird to say, right? But there is so many good slots for card advantage in black-red aggro right now, which is one of the difficult things, right? Like, Rick's Reveler is competing with Theater of Horrors and Light Up the Stage for, like, a card to generate card advantage with. Hey, Slaga, thanks for gifting the sub. I appreciate that. And Forgotten Glory with the 3-month resub. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming back. Fell for peer pressure and going into Arena Farm Quest, etc. Buying my first deck today. Think Izzet Drakes is still a good choice. I think it's probably fine. It's pretty proactive. I haven't seen any new cards that are especially useful. I've seen people trying things, but I haven't been super impressed. There might be a build of Drakes that wants to use Terramander. Well, I appreciate the support, Slaga. Thank you. Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal to that, right? And it's just like a 2-2 on 2, right? Which is like something you're interested in doing on occasion in an aggro deck. And the last Pauper 5-0 posts are only 2 unique decks posted. Yeah, so people, when formats like Pauper tend to get more competitive, a lot of the time they're going to end up needing bans, because the reason why those formats have been diverse in the past is not because they're well balanced, it's just because nobody cares about winning. But Magic Online has started attaching actual prizes to Pauper tournaments, which means people are optimizing more. Land would be great here. I did not, actually, Slago. Alright, so I'm taking a hit for 8 this turn, possibly 12 if they have Judy, but like, I get to gain 3, and then I have Settle Up the following turn, with Settle the turn after that as well, so I might be in an okay spot. Oh, did they split it into a second league? That probably explains it more than anything then. I thought it was still just one league. Yeah, all the decks on my website are updated. So if you click standard decks on my site, I removed a bunch of decks we had up there from last season. And then I removed a bunch of decks we had up there last season, and then I added a bunch of new decks from this season in addition to updating all the existing ones up there. Yeah, it was some kind of alien Drazi mess, Admiral. You can almost always find current deck lists on my site. There were a couple of days where they weren't current because the new set had just released, but now that it's updated. Are you politically active? What on earth does that mean? Do I care about politics? Yeah, I'm a human being who cares about other people, so I care about politics. Let's get the Anticipate going here so I can hit a land. Perfect. Get to do this. Get to hit the Revitalize. I have 6 lands in play here, so I can cast Nexus of Fate next turn even. This card is really good. Opponent's deck seems sweet. The Spectacle spells are the real deal. I don't know if I believe that. Hey, you're asking if you're running in 2020. I'm not old enough to run for president. There's an age bracket on that. Stop it. Alright, so we're hoping for a cantrip into a Nexus into 2 turns next turn. Nexus, please. Perfect. Alright, we might get to go here. So this gives us 2 turns. We could theoretically still brick here. If we hit a cantrip, if we hit a card that draws cards next turn, we should be good to go. we draw. Alright, I mean, I guess that keeps us alive at least. Hey, McBear, thanks for the $10 tip. I appreciate it. Oh, let me get my dashboard loaded. Alright, let's do this. This gets us up out of Banefire range unless they have another land. Thanks for the tip, McBear. There's no comment with it. I appreciate the support. If they have land Banefire, we are exactly dead because they have 9 currently. Sure. If they attack with this, I'm going to settle it. So, we're hoping to... This is going to get to flip over, so... It's dealing with Twitch, you're not wrong. That card's like... I don't really know if this card is good against us. Like, they're hopefully just not going to get another turn here, right? Yep. Hopefully not getting another turn. So if I activate this, I have enough mana to activate. So I want to cast the Nexus before I activate this, though. Because I want this Nexus in my deck when I activate Azcanta. Hey, it looks like it did. What's going on, Perp? Thanks for the support. So we have two. You kind of see it here underneath my chat widget. So there's 2 turns on the stack at the moment. So how we win from here is eventually we thin our deck to the point where we take an arbitrarily large number of turns, basically, and then our opponent will be incredibly sad. Eventually we cast Chromium and win the game. But like, so we have 1 more turn on the stack. We're adding 2 more turns to the queue. Eventually our deck, there's 2 Nexus of Fates in our deck, and eventually using our cantrips and our search for Azcanta, we like thin through our deck to where there's only Nexus of Fate in it. And then we win the game with Chromium eventually. Well, so like here's the thing, skepticism. I think this is something that's really worth mentioning because people just really don't get how to evaluate Magic cards. Wilderness Reclamation isn't an engine. I've heard other people refer to it as an engine, and I'm really, truly confused what they think an engine is, because it's not that. Wilderness Reclamation is a powerful enabler that allows you to make lots of mana, but it's not an engine on its own. All it does is make mana. You need another card to do something with it. Listen, anybody that wants to praise Trump as a businessman at this point, get on my stream. You haven't been paying attention. Bye, Felicia. Alright, double Shimmer off another amulet here. Once we get 2 amulets going, like, we've got Chromium in play and I've got 1 more attack, so I actually only need 1 more Nexus of Fate here. Based on the fact that a lot of people don't understand how interest works, they probably don't get that it's very easy to make money when you start with infinite money. You can like lose a bunch of money and still come out and still be making money because your money makes money just sitting there. Yeah, Wilderness plus March seems sweet, but again, like Wilderness isn't the card that's actually doing the action, right? It's just like making you mana. Like you need another card to pair with it to actually do something. Alright, so we're just gonna go to the next turn here, because I already have the Nexus. If I didn't already have the Nexus in my hand, I'd keep cantripping there. But this is actually a pretty quick game win, because I had the Chromium to start. Yeah, I mean, if it did literal nothing, he'd be worth more money, because of the money he inherited. We actually haven't hit. It depends on what format you're going to play, Lucas. So the thing you need to understand is that best of 1 and best of 3 are like fundamentally different formats. And if you're going to be playing best of 1, it does seem like it's mostly aggro, but best of 3 is still pretty varied. How does a casino lose, buddy? Yeah, today is no changes in all formats day, JMP. That's true. No changes, no explanation of no changes. Alright, so this seems like pretty reasonable. It's got Settle on 4, which is like all you could really ask for against the aggro deck. So we get to go ahead and play Island on 1, which lets me opt. And then next turn we could go tapped Godless Shrine, opt again. Listen, I mean, if it says no changes, Standard's great, right? Honestly, I think the fact that Standard is great and they just released a new set means they're even less likely than normal to make updates to the ban and restricted list, because I think they greatly prefer that they not draw focus away from their current great Standard format with Modern changes. Like, if Modern gets changes today, it overshadows the hype of this. Wow, they're like straight up set to Goldfish a turn 4 kill here. That's really impressive. Also, the animation on this card is great, like every other Mythic Flying card. So I'm down to 11, and then they're attacking for 10. I'm going to 5. Oh god, am I dead? Am I dead through a gain 4 on turn 4? Well, I mean, we technically didn't die on their 4, but we did die. We are dead. All right, let's try again here. The end of last season, I was kind of middling on this deck. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people complaining about various Nexus decks in Best of 1, and like, my experience so far has definitely been this season at least, is that like, Nexus decks are not fantastic in Best of 3. They get raced by aggro, and like, there's so many meaningful points of interaction between Duress and Counterspells and Cindervines. Like, there's a lot of ways to beat up these decks. You can always find the list of what decks and formats I am playing in my stream title. So if I plan to play Modern or Legacy on a given day, it's listed there. You can also find my schedule on my website here, which lists not only which days I'm playing what, but also shows also shows the formats. Basic Swamp on 1. I'm gonna bin the land and keep the Revitalize, I think. Sure, Persit, but like, it's only a Tron deck by virtue of Best of 1 not supporting sideboards. Like, it's only oppressive because these people are choosing to play a format where they literally aren't given the tools to be competitive against it. What deck would I take to a tournament right now? Probably something aggressive. This format's still very new. We just had a new set release, so we don't know what's good or not. All the decks that were good last season are probably still good. I think Vanifear's cute and probably tier 2 something playable. Like, if you really love that effect, it's probably fine, but I don't expect any tier 1 deck to pop up around here. We're actually gonna play some more of the Teamer Vanifear deck later today. If they have Vivian Reed here, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble, but if they don't have Vivian Reed or Assassin Trophy, we're gonna go to town next turn. We actually didn't end up getting that much snow the second time around. Alright, well that's not a Vivian. So start with this. Get rid of this, keep discovery. People just really want Vanasphere to be good in Standard because they've been so sad that Birthing Pod's banned in Modern that they just want to play something that's pod-esque in a format where it might be playable because Wizards took their toys away in Modern. People just like playing with Magic cards that they enjoy playing. What's going on, Big Kitty? Yeah, I'm starting about 8 a.m. CST every morning now. Seems like a goodish time to be starting based on the data I've been looking at. Alright, sweet. So we should be set to combo next turn. So next turn I'll shock this in, and then we'll Nexus of Fate take 2 turns. And then on the first of those 2 turns, we'll go Primal Amulet, double Shimmer. I really think, so I was kind of the opinion that Ferocodon really didn't matter, but Ferocodon should definitely stay banned, I think. Light up the stage and other cards that they've gotten this season are very, very good. And I'd much rather that card stay gone. Alright, double Shimmer, get 8 looks here and another Nexus of Fate to take 2 more turns. And if that misses, I get a bunch more looks next turn. So I'm choosing to use the radical idea here rather than the opt because I want to get the discounted mana cost on this to start. That's another double Shimmer for next turn. So let's do this, ditch this. I haven't discarded my Chromium, right? Okay, yeah. So the fact that I've ditched the Memorial to Folly here means that I can't ditch Chromium. Because I won't have a way to get him back. So I have 1 more turn in the bank here still. So I get to go ahead and cast a double opt looking for a Nexus of Fate. And if I miss on this Nexus of Fate, I get to triple Shimmer next turn digging for it. So I get 12 looks at a Nexus of Fate here. If I were to miss on those 12 looks, I would get to just go ahead and Cleansing Nova. Well, that Shimmer gives me 12 looks at a Nexus of Fate. And remember, when I'm thinning through my deck like this, I'm taking cards out of it. So every turn, my deck has less and less cards in it, so I'm less and less likely to miss. So right now there's 26 cards with 2 Nexus of Fate in them, and I'm getting 12 looks. Might even just want another Amulet there, honestly. I'm also getting to play more lands out on each one of these turns, which is a big deal. So I don't have a Shimmer, but I have Discovery to get a bunch of looks at a Nexus of Fate. So let's double Discovery. And Discovery's really good at thinning out my deck because the cards you take from Discovery that you don't want, they go to your graveyard. They don't stay in your deck. So I have to take Chromium here because if I bin the Chromium, I actually don't have a way left in my deck to win the game. So I'm not looking for Chromium at the moment, but I can't win the game if I bin him because I binned the Memorial to Folly earlier. Alright, so if I activate this, I have 6, and I haven't played a land yet. So let's play this, activate this, gives me 4 more looks. I guess that gives me 4 looks but I could anticipate plus opt to get 5 technically, so I guess I should cast my cantrips. Rather than do that. Again, just playing cards that thin through my deck. Let's go ahead and do this. Get double up. I don't know what those cards do offhand, Rucka. If you want to find out if I'd play something based on something, please use a deck submission form on my website. It helps me stay organized. I appreciate it. All right, 10 cards, two Nexus. We should be a lock at this point. We are unbrickable. We've gotten to a point where I have enough cantrips and see enough of my deck at this point that I'm going to get back to a Nexus of Fate every turn. So now I can just put the Chromium into play and then start attacking. And remember, it's impossible for us to deck because the Nexuses keep shuffling back in. So this is a triple Nexus. The Chromium animation is great. You're not wrong. All right, so we have enough turns to win the game at this point. The Boggles deck looks goofy. It does, doesn't it? We also get Hallowed Fountain, so we get better mana and we get a better digging spell. My opponent's confused because I have to take a game action. They're like, wait, what? I have to make a choice? The opponent fell asleep in their chair. Hey, look, a Nexus of Fate. How incredibly lucky we found the card we were looking for in our 8-card deck. Every turn we take 3 more turns. And like again, this is game 1. Game 1 is the easy one. Post-board is where things get tough for us. So, our opponent's never getting another turn. Should I kill them with a 1/1 Chromium? Who thinks we should kill them with a 1/1 Chromium? My opponent's not giving up, and it's really annoying that they're not giving up. All right, I'm doing this for the people, just so people understand and appreciate. I'm doing this for you, okay? I am a man of the people. If my opponent values their time this little, I'm gonna show them just how much I value their time as well. Never forget, you can concede at any point. Concession is always an option, chat. Gotta hide my count of extra turns here. Show them the 1/1 business, right? I don't think this was turn 5. No, it was turn 6 or so. This deck is not amazing against aggro decks. You can just get run over. Let's put another Primal Amulet into play, because why not? Discard. Don't you tell me to discard my Nexus. I love my Nexus. Why would you want me to discard my Nexus? It's my favorite card. Do. Correct. Yeah, not conceding. Listen, if anybody thinks I'm BMing, I would like to consider you to consider the fact that my opponent is deterministically dead and has not conceded. So, I'm just gonna sit here and have a grand old time. How many extra turns can we get in the bank? Nobody knows. Listen, chat, some people are into this kind of thing. Don't kink shame. Don't kink shame. Slow ride. Take it easy. Do 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 do. There's only 3 cards in my deck and 2 of them are Nexus of Fate. Yes, I think there's a lot of overlap there. There's a lot of people who complain about decks like these that don't concede to them. I have enough discards, so I get to draw a card every turn and I get to activate Nexus of Fate every turn. So I get to go ahead and just like discard Nexus of Fate here and shuffle it back in. So we have more than enough cards. More than enough cards to get going here. Yeah, it shuffles. That's why Nexus of Fate is obnoxious, because it shuffles back in. There's 2 cards in my deck right now, and they are both Nexus of Fate. No, we have a copy of Memorial to Folly explicitly for when the Chromium gets taken away. Listen, I made a promise, okay? I made a promise and my opponent's gonna die. Listen. Chromium doesn't get his hands dirty in dragon form, okay? Killing people is what humans do. Listen, don't tell me what I'm doing is rude. My opponent's the one who's dead and hasn't conceded. They want me to click through this. If my opponent didn't want me to click through this, they would have conceded. So I can only assume my opponent's having fun right now. Because if they weren't having fun, they'd stop playing, okay? Why do people in chat want to take fun away from my opponent? Why are you so rude? Why do you want to deny my opponent the fun that they are trying to derive here? I don't know if Stream Decker says the format of decks. Alright, God bless, Chromium. God bless. What if they don't know how to concede? That would be a tough life. That would be a hard knock life. All right, so what do? I usually board in Nexus of Fate and the extra Primal Amulet and cut the Ritual Rejuvenations. Seems fine. Maybe they think you can time out like Moto. God bless. Excellent. Excellent. They didn't. They found the concession button. Little did we know. Steady as she goes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. That seems fine. Your hands that have lands and cantrips are fine. Yeah, I'm in for a third land at this point. Maybe I'm supposed to bottom aggressively looking for another white source. Dinosaur spells cost you 1 less to cast. That's kind of scary. Wanting MTG and have a competitive standard deck, about how many dollars would it cost roughly? For about $100 you can get just about anything. It's lethal. Yeah, you can find all deck lists for the future decks we're going to be playing today in the deck queue. Little did we know we were speedrunning today. Little did we know they're speedrunning today. All right, chat. 10 more days until we get the best of 3 ladder. You can just dig deep here looking for the amulet. Take discovery at this point. We're really not at the point where I'm looking to hit Nexus of Fate. We want to use Nexus once we have amulet in play. Look at that. Very cleverly didn't hit the Nexus yet so we can protect it from a discard spell. Best of 3 forces me to play up to 3 types against a deck that really annoys me. I mean, that could happen anywhere, right? Yeah, this is fine. Hey, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping in, George. Hope you're having a good Monday wherever you're at in the world. Had a good weekend. Shibba. Have I decided if I'm going to the open or not? I haven't. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get cards too, and I really don't want to spend like if I go to the open, I lose a significant amount of money from not working for the weekend, and like if I have to like lose a bunch of money not working and spend like $300 buying week 1 singles, like I really can't overstate how nice it is not having to deal with a secondary economy on Arena. Like, having to pay like $25 for mythics that are going to be worth $10 in a week sucks. Because I don't care about the rewards, old boy Merlin. I'm just looking to play games. A lot of the times, especially now, we've been making a lot of changes to decks in between matches. I don't actually have Tempo Storm gear yet. It hasn't come in. How much is Teferi? Yep, 1 mythic wild card. Alright, do you have a counterspell? Yes, sad. They could just have this, hopefully. Tilt. Yeah, I like Bant Flash, but like it requires like $25 mythics from the new sets and a bunch of rares from the new set. Yeah, but I don't want to play a deck like that, Burn Player. I'm not traveling. I'm not like taking a weekend off and driving 4 hours to play a deck that's just like an aggro deck. If I'm playing Magic for the weekend, I want to feel smart. Playing against control decks game 1 is hard for this archetype because they have sweepers to kill Chromium and they have counter spells to kill your amulets. So if they have another counter spell, I'm going to concede here. I guess they could just Teferi tuck this. I'm very unlikely to go to a Grand Prix. Come on, chat. These are rookie numbers. Let's go on, Brecken. Thanks for the biddies. B. Williams, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here.
I'm not ready for this quite yet.
When's the best time to concede? When you stop having fun.
Hurry!
Can tier 3 subs submit a standard build run? They can, Isha. They can, in fact. I think the Ajani's Pridemate errata is excellent. Admiral O's bot, it's been a good 15 months, which is conveniently only 14 months longer than the government shutdown. Oh, the United States. Are you gonna be at Indy, Elliot? Can you, Elliot, can you TM me? I might take you up on that. That's unfortunate. So they could down tick this Teferi, killing him to tuck the amulet again. I cast the Radical Idea there because if I Radical Idea'd into a cantrip, I could possibly chain cantrips and flip the amulet this turn, which gives me the best chance to win. But if they keep tucking this, I'm going to be in a bad spot.
You need to slow down.
Why is the errata better than an auto yield? I mean, it's different. So auto yield still creates needless clicking, match to match.
I know. Let's skip to the good part.
If you would like to suggest cards for the deck that we're playing, please make sure you read the stream rules for intelligent and useful ways to suggest cards. Keeps the clutter down in chat. People that break those rules will get a 10-minute break. Things like that add needless complexity to the game that makes things bad for new players. Again, like, things like that, like, quality of life changes like that, established players tend to complain about for whatever reason, because they want things to be pure, whatever nonsense reason they have in their head. But at the end of the day, changes like that tend to be good for new players, which is a good thing for Magic. I have a place to stay set up for Indy. If I want to go already. Thank you, though. I want Ixalan's Binding in this matchup. I don't think I do, actually. Let's do this. We bring in counter spells, extra amulet, Eldest, and Spyglass for their Teferi and another Nexus. I think I'd rather just have Spyglass. They have, oh, I definitely don't want Ixalan's Binding anymore because they have Mortify. Folks that are new to the stream, again, please make sure you read those stream rules that you click past. People that break them when making card suggestions, you're going to get a 10-minute break. Please and thank you. It's one of the ways we keep the chat manageable when there's a large amount of people in here. Keep the clutter down. No, I have no idea what that is referring to, old boy Merlin. The bindings are for the Drake's matchup and Jeskai control where they have Niv Mizzet. I think it's best to get the mana base. I think crafting the rare lands is the best thing to craft to start for sure, because you're going to use those rare lands and a lot of overlap between different decks. No, if I come to India, I definitely won't be at the BCW event. If I leave, we're probably not leaving till after I work on Friday. I donated for Absent Nights a while ago. Turns out I couldn't edit the deck. I made some changes since. This is the new link. Yeah, definitely, K9. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll add that 100 bits to it as well. Thanks for the support. What pack should you buy to start? Either, you should either buy one of the 2 guild sets, basically, is what you should pick up, because they have the dual lands in them. I've been tuning this list for a few days now. 5-1 twice the leagues, ready for you to tune. All the creatures enable Spectacle very well. It's the best theater deck I've played. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, looks sweet. Sounds good, Gorks. I'm gonna bin this, because I'm definitely not looking for Nexus yet. We're definitely looking for counter spells and amulet portion of the game. This weekend in Indianapolis is the SCG Open Series tournament. It's going to be the first major standard tournament of the new format. Well, you can't really take, I guess you could theoretically take infinite turns without the amulet, but yeah, amulet enables you to combo. Got some radical ideas going on over here. Did I decide to go to Indy? Maybe. If I can get cards, I'm gonna go, I think. I want to try some other things in Bant Flash too. Like, I don't think I'm trying things in Bant Flash today, but I'm probably gonna play some more tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll see. Will Allegiance be played in the next Pro Tour? Well, Pro Tours don't exist anymore. They've rebranded them to Mythic Championships, just as an FYI. But yeah, the next Mythic Championship's gonna include Allegiance cards. The purpose of the Mythic Championships is to showcase the new set, basically. Get to pass with negate up here. Yeah, I think that card's really good, Gorks. Yeah, those are paper tournaments. So SCG stands for Star City Games. They run the largest independent Magic tournament series in the United States, in the world, probably in the world. I don't think there's any outside of the US that are bigger than SCG. Click on my username here, Elliot. Click on my username and you'll be able to DM me. The Mythic Championships are separate from the Pro Tour. No. There are the Pro Tour no longer exists as branded. The Pro Tour no longer exists as branded as a Pro Tour. The Pro Tours have been rebranded to Mythic Championships. There are also Mythic Championships that are, Mythic Championships that are going to be arena only, I believe, as well. You can read about my thoughts on the new non-rotating format in my article on Cool Stuffing from last month. Assure/Assemble is just a flexible card. It's a card that sometimes is going to be an extra threat for you, and sometimes is going to be a way to save one of your existing threats in play. Not all of them are arena only, but some of them are going to be arena only. I don't know those details offhand. I'm not even sure if they've fully announced all the details. I'm pretty sure there's still 4 paper Mythic Championships because that's how many Pro Tours they do per year. What's going on, Pyro? I appreciate the third of a year. Welcome back. So I'm not going to Radical Idea because I like both these cards in my hand. Keep up the great content. Holy flab. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Remember, you can submit a new deck with that resub through the forum on my website. We've played a bunch of Theater of Horrors. I agree with you. That card is very good. You can find all of the Magic that we've played on the stream on my website, my YouTube channel. How could those things even be related? -3 card. What does a rebranding have to do with it? I think none of the changes Wizards of the Coast made were likely directly in response to what Jerry did. I think all of these changes with like the MPL and stuff like that, those are likely things that have been in the works for a very long time. Large organizations like Wizards of the Coast don't make massive changes like they did here overnight or in a couple of months. They take years at a time and lots of approval. One card I'm unsure of is Pestilence Spirit. I keep going between that card and Midnight Reaper, but I feel like the Spirit has more synergy. Sounds good, Gorks. I'm gonna hold on to this land again here, just in case I draw another radical idea. I have one more of those in my deck. Yeah, I completely agree. People have never worked at large corporations greatly underestimate how quickly you can get things done. The banner restricted update today is technically for all formats, but it'll probably say no changes in all formats. And I mean, like, this game is just such a good example of, like, why the people complaining about Nexus of Fate and Best of 1 really need to just try Best of 3. Like, there's so many good answers to Nexus of Fate in this format. It's just a lot of them aren't main deckable. Like, control decks can beat this archetype. Aggro decks can beat this archetype. Just there's so many great ways that they can keep up with it. Chromium into negate here is very, very good. They don't have a Mortify for this. We should be in a good spot too, because we're going to pick this Lyra back up. Hey, Eldek, really appreciate your content and commentary. Just crafted the pay-to-win Angels deck. Gotta love the sweet animation. Thanks for the 2 months. Yeah, the Angels deck is definitely my favorite mid-range deck right now. For sure. Oh, there was a Teferi in their bin from earlier. That's really good. And this is a good example of like why there's Eldest Reborns and a second Chromium in my sideboard, because it can be very difficult to like get our combo off through control. This is for Mardu Party Bus. Putting a $20 bounty on pulling off the infinite Party Bus combo on stream. Sounds good, Meta Magic Missile. Thanks for the support. I think green-red aggro, the Gruul aggro deck, Gruul monsters, whatever you want to call it, probably has the most potential to be worked on. It's the newest deck that gains the most tools between Rhythm of the Wild and other things. Oh, this is fine. It's got turn 2 Searcher Azcanta. Chromium in the opener kind of sucks, but like the 6 is very good here. Hey, what's going on, Rumicide? Hope you're doing well. For those that don't follow me on Twitter, as a heads up, all of the standard deck lists on my website have been updated as of yesterday. So I I didn't stream yesterday, but I did work a good chunk of the day. So if you are interested in a nice, easy, concise place to find a bunch of sweet deck lists for this current standard format, be sure to check out my website, jeffhoagland.com. Click standard decks to navigation stop. Gonna get mortified here. And I think we're gonna get mortified. Yeah. Amulet is how we combo. We played this archetype a bunch in the past, and the Amulet is very necessary. Post board, you have to pivot off of it a little bit in these control matchups. They have so many counter spells, but definitely a big fan of Amulet existing in this deck. What does Jund mean? So all of the 3-color combinations in Magic the Gathering have a shorthand keyword to describe them. So Jund in Magic refers to green, black, and red. Esper, in the case of this deck, refers to blue, white, and black. So Esper, Jund, Sultai, Temur, these are all keywords that are shorthand for a 3-color combination. So 2 more lands and I get to put Chromium into play, which is sweet. Great. Temur is blue, green, and red. Black, green, blue is Sultai. So Sultai, the Sultai Bogles deck that we're going to play next. We actually have basically all 3-color decks today. So the deck we're going to play after this is blue, black, and green, and then blue, red, and green for Temur. Just going to go ahead and pass here, and honestly, this Chromium might just like run them down here with double negate. Are you ever tired of teaching chat the same stuff over and over again? Not at all. So streaming, especially to a larger audience, is a lot like being a parent. You have to speak very slowly and repeat yourself often. Alright, Dubs negate here. Hopefully means this Chromium's just going to run them down. I chose to not play the land on purpose because Chromium protects himself by discarding cards from my hand. So I've held on to this island in order to keep my Chromium protected. So, sweet. So they should be dead now. So, negate their thing, and then unless they have a spell pierce to spell pierce this Nexus, they should be gone. I mean, we board in 4 negates for a reason, right? Yeah, you can find all the decks that are coming up later today in the deck queue on my website. Always try to stay really organized around here so people that take the time to drop in can know what to expect. You suggest MTGA instead of paper? Definitely. Like, the reason why Magic Arena is so popular is because it's a Magic video game that's great. And, like, Magic is a great game, but it is time consuming to sit down and play paper. And playing digitally is just infinitely more convenient. Like, even Magic Online is more convenient than paper, but Magic Online is just, like, clunky and looks bad, right? Whereas Arena is very elegant. And honestly, Arena with the auto tapper plays even faster than Magic Online does. Yeah, that last match was sweet. We got to give a good example of like how we win in both ways. Get to grind him out. Yeah, Declan loves Arena. Jake's kind of indifferent on video games so far, but like Declan like plays Switch games. He loves to watch Arena. Paper Magic's the only reason you go outside? Yeah, that's exactly correct. Paper Magic is great and is always going to exist because it's a social experience, but if you're looking to just play games of Magic and not engage socially, digital Magic just is far and away better for that aspect. Basic Island. I'm gonna bin the Revitalize, keep the search. If they're playing like Mono Blue Aggro, I'm gonna be sad I did that, but Mono Blue Aggro is pretty unwinnable for us. Yeah, my degree is in mathematics. I was originally going to study computer science, but after I took Calc 1, I decided to change. really enjoy calculus. Calculus and graph theory are my two favorite subsections of mathematics. How do you determine the optimal number of shocks versus check lands in 3-color decks? It's still a little touch and go. Like, the correct mix on those, it is determined by the spells that you're looking to cast, as well as how much damage you want to take from your mana base. It's really hard to predict the future. I know I stream a lot of Magic, but I don't have any inside information from Wizards of the Coast, so me estimating like what they may or may not do is just guessing, just like you all. Graph theory refers to networking problems and things like that. Things like traffic patterns or pairing players in a Swiss tournament are actually graph theory problems. Jeff SWAT season center proves that they don't like him. Maybe they're coming around. I did at least get invited to the streamer thing. So I'm leading on Cleansing Nova here because if this gets Spell Pierced, the following turn Settle can't get Spell Pierced because I'll have 6 lands. Yeah, so like the school I went to, I didn't have to write like a formal thesis, but I wrote a short paper and did like a project that was focused on analyzing graphs using Python. Let's Shimmer, try and find an amulet. I'm gonna take an extra Settle. In a matchup like this, we basically just need to keep all their threats off the table, so I want as many answers as possible. How did I intend to utilize my math degree after school? Doing software development. I contribute to a number of open source projects. I've done some automation stuff. I worked at a, well, super punished for choosing to use Cleansing Nova as opposed to Settle the Wreckage. What will happen first? 1 year of subbing or the end of the government shutdown? Hopefully the end of the shutdown would be ideal. Thanks for the 8 months, Brattle. I appreciate it. There is a library for Python called Network X that has a set of tools for analyzing, designed to analyze graphs in Python. I think we're dead. Let's see if they're bad in attack. They probably can kill us without attacking. What's the government shutdown? So in the United States, if the Senate can't come to an agreement on a budget that the president then approves, the United States government shuts down except for non-essential services. Which is as dumb as it sounds. If you're living in another country and thinking that sounds incredibly stupid, you are correct. It is incredibly stupid. Dang it, opponent. Why are you... Both chambers of Congress. There you go. Both chambers of Congress. Well, we're dead. Let's move along. I thought thesis was a thing. I thought so. It's definitely still in... there's definitely a really terrible paper I wrote at some point during grad school in my Dropbox. All right, someone asked earlier if we don't bring this card in against Esper, where would we bring it in? The Drake's matchup, and more explicitly, the Niv Mizzet matchup is where this card comes in. It's very good at keeping us alive here. Yeah, that's the worst part about it. The fact that Congress gets paid while they're expecting other people to work and not get paid is such a giant pile of hypocrisy. No, I'm not a big fan of bringing in negates in this matchup. I'd much rather just, like, play through their stuff. Because one of the things you need to remember is that you... because this is a combo deck, all of our pieces are like engine cards, and every part we cut from our engine means we're less likely to be able to combo. I got you, Brettle. Well, to be fair, at this point, the budget isn't even on Congress. The president's the one that's been rejecting it. There's a really great clip on the internet of Trump taking all the credit for the shutdown. Because he's, well, him. Doesn't binding get a... So, like, saying don't play Ixalan's binding because your opponent has ways to stop it is like saying don't play creatures because your opponent has removal spells. You're right, they have ways to interact with my interaction, but, like, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna play my stuff. People voted for a wall, and now there's people that don't want to do it. The people voted for, stop it. I don't care that you're a sub. Get out of here. People voted for lies that pivoted. They didn't vote for a wall. Those bunch of racist fearmongers voted for a symbol that they were pitched that another country would pay for. That's what they voted for. They didn't vote for something that was going to cost the American taxpayers money. This isn't Trump's Twitter account. You don't just get to post lies in my Twitch chat. Yeah, that's also another important thing. The way the American election system works, the way we vote, a majority of the people in the United States did not vote for Trump. That's just the facts. To avoid wasting my life, what's good early interaction that I am losing to a Nexus deck? I'm heading to the game and wondering. Good early indication that I'm losing to a Nexus deck. When they start taking extra turns with a Planeswalker or source of card advantage. So, like, if the Nexus deck is taking extra turns while activating Azcanta or Teferi or something like that, that usually means the game is very likely over. Misfit Mavis, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The government did shut down under Obama and under, I believe it was Bill Clinton as well, but the shutdowns were much shorter during those time periods. And the presidents were much more empathetic. Like, if you go online, there was I forget which news media it was. Oh, it was, I'm blanking. He does YouTube stuff. It wasn't even a formal news. He basically does. It was Philip DeFranco. That's it. Philip DeFranco posted a video with, like, comparing the last three presidents, like Trump, Obama, and Bill Clinton, when the government shut down. And it was just like night and day, like what Obama and Bill Clinton said versus like how Trump presented his shutdown. I think I'm supposed to just radical idea ditch this Eldest Reborn here. I want to get this Primal Amulet flip. Although we did draw the Black Source now. So this is going to flip the Primal Amulet. And I'm doing this now because that way if I find a 2-mana cantrip, I can double cast it here. Yeah, I just started watching Franco's stuff recently. And he does a very good job at what he does. Feels pretty well balanced based on like doing research on his topics in other places. Doggo-matic with the 250 tip, thank you. Our electoral college system is outdated and a poor concept nowadays. Yeah, I agree. The electoral college was invented during a time when it was infeasible to count popular votes due to logistical reasons, and that's no longer the case. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Search for Azcanta first. before I Cleansing Nova, and the reason for this is while my opponent has Spell Pierce up here, my Wellspring's gonna double cast Cleansing Nova for me, so they can't Spell Pierce both of these. You can always find the deck queue on my website here, or bit.ly/deck queue for short. Hey, Nathan, can't wait for the Wall of Roots 3-year anniversary bug. Thank you for the 12 months of support, Nathan. I really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Let's get you a mod sword there. Leave that on top. Transform this. But did Trump really promise to build a wall with Mexico's? Yes, he literally, it was one of the things they chanted at his rallies. And people thought it was true. People thought that was actually a thing that was going to happen. Yeah, Soul Tide Bogles is going to be the next deck. So the order that the decks are listed in my stream title is the order that we're going to play them today. We could die this turn, but it's pretty unlikely. And if we don't die this turn, I get to activate the Wellspring and double cast Nexus next turn, which means we're pretty likely to combo from there. Of building a wall of roots at the border. Oh, wall of roots. Thanks for being here watching, Thurs. We should be chanting build. We're gonna build. They're gonna fix Wall of Roots, and Hearthstone's gonna pay for the code, chat. All right. I think that was fine. I think our game plan's good there. Let's run it back. So again, like, we can't just race against these tempo decks that have counter spells and pressure. So we board into these Ixalan's Bindings, these Eldest Reborns, in order to be a little bit more interactive. This seems fine, right? How does our interaction line up with stuff like the mono red burn deck that's floating around? Well, we have a bunch of Revitalizes and Gain Force in our main deck, so it's not too terrible. This hand doesn't have any interaction in it, but it has lands and it has cards that draw more cards, so we should be able to find our way into our interaction. I believe it's January 26th or January 29th. The Wall of Roots anniversary bug is on my stream schedule. I think I actually want to keep this other Ixalan's Binding here, because as someone pointed out earlier, our opponent's deck is going to have access to things like Spell Pierce and Dive Down, so there's a very good chance that the first Ixalan's Binding that I cast this game gets stopped, and then I want a second one to follow it up. Yeah, there are people that really do Gwir. They're not bright. All I have to say is God bless Brexit, because it makes the United States not look like the only bunch of idiots in the world. All the other countries are competing for that title. build a moat. Alright, so maybe I'm supposed to keep the Anticipate there just because I have the Amulet. Am I supposed to lead on the Binding here? I feel like whatever I play is likely getting Spell Pierce. The Wu-Tang RZA, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. What do we think? I feel like if whatever I'm casting is getting countered, I feel like I should Binding here just in case they have nothing. Because if they have nothing and this resolves and then this resolves, next turn I could do this into this. I am getting Spell Pierced regardless, so probably need to go tapped land Binding next turn. I think Gush could be banned in Pauper. Possibly. Beat you to it, Pikes. Beat you to it. Yeah, a lot of the drugs and stuff that come in through the southern border of the United States come in through legal points of entry. So like this idea that they forwarded that like, you know, this wall would keep like stuff like that out of the country just like also isn't true. We're probably dead here to another counter spell. Negate, Spell Pierce, Dive Down, all of those kill us. Looks like Dive Down based on them pausing. Wow, Stone Cold nothing. Well, that's really good for us. I wonder if I'm supposed to play the tapped land there. Have a good one, Population Zero. When are we playing Bogle? Soon. I usually play each deck for about 90 minutes. So we'll probably play one more after this, and then we'll switch over to Bogles. So I think I'm just gonna do this into Amulet here. Oh, jeez. I forgot. I made a boo-boo, chat. That's unfortunate. I made sure it wasn't tapping my Memorial and then didn't make sure it was tapping both my planes. So that happens when you play too quickly. So the fact that I can't cast Opt here as well is a really big deal. No, that was just my bad. I should have been paying more attention to what it was doing. We're big on personal accountability here, so it's not the auto tapper's fault, it's my fault. Oh, I could just dispersal them. That's true, actually. Now I can get Spell Pierce, though. I think I'm supposed to dispersal them. Actually, I can't get Spell Pierce because it costs one less, right? Yeah, let's do that. That's a good call. I like it. I should have done this before I shimmered, because I'd have taken one less damage. They'd have drawn one less card. Two Hallowed, one Godless, and it felt rough with all three due to linear aggro decks. How have I felt about playing 5? It's been okay. We also haven't played against a ton of like red or burn based aggro. Like the best of 3 queue is pretty diverse. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, my sequencing here was pretty bad. I didn't think about Dispersal being a way to take Nib off the table, which definitely cost us there. The fact that, like, I'm still holding this up, that I mistap my lands is, like, really pretty detrimental. Do I start with this Ixalan's Binding? I think I do. I mean, like, there's a good chance this doesn't resolve, is the issue. Wow, that worked. Okay, so I get to opt, which is going to flip the Primal Amulet. And then I get to double Shimmer here. I think I'm going to take another Amulet at this point. If we don't get, we could get burned out next turn. If we don't get burned out, we should be in a good spot finding this Nexus with the Shimmer and another Amulet. And, like, we have Niv and Enigma Drake locked out. All right, we had a good piece about what's currently going on with the U.S. government, so let's step off of that for the time being. Otherwise, it'll just run the entire day because I know how that goes. Most people have watched my stuff, or especially follow me on Twitter, know where I stand on the art, where I stand on all of that. Yeah, if we draw, wait, do I even need to draw an untapped land? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do need to draw an untapped land to do this and this. Yeah, I agree, Lord Draken. The only reason this game is close right now is because I tapped the wrong lands for my Amulet. All right, well, let's just double Nexus here. Bye, friend. Bye, friend. Hey, the unnamed, good morning. One more month and I can finally afford my training sword. Thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Let's call it a day on. Let's call it a day on Esper. So, we tried playing Turbo Fog. Hey, Bet Puzzo, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I really appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Did they actually do it? Did they actually do it? All right, sure. I mean, like, banning KCI doesn't really change anything. Like, banning KCI doesn't change anything in Modern. All right, anywho, this deck. The big takeaway from this versus the Bant deck that we played is I think the Bant deck's game 1 plan is better because their combo's a little bit harder to interact with. But the mix of Chromium and Eldest Reborn really feels like a much better post-board plan than what the Bant deck was doing. So the Bant deck, it definitely has a better game 1 plan, but this deck, as far as playing against control and playing against Drakes and stuff like that, I really feel like this deck excels where the Bant deck can struggle. So I think there's ups and downs to playing both iterations of the Nexus deck, but I think overall I prefer what this deck is doing. Another thing to consider, and this isn't something that we did today, but I think with the inclusion of more shock lands, it's also possible that we could play more black cards in this deck as well. Maybe put in like Thought Erasure or stuff like that as well. Yeah, that's Tumos. That's the disturbing part, right? So, like, they think that Modern is healthy except for Crockclaw Ironworks, which means they want Modern to be a degenerate linear format, which is fine. It just means if you don't want degenerate linear gameplay, then you should play Standard, and Standard's great.